So today's conversation is on cash flow management. Because if we don't optimize our cash flows, then we are always worried about how will I pay my salary on time, my rent on time, my credit card bill on time, my suppliers on time, how will I take money back home? So today's session's objective is to help you optimize your cash flow so that you play the growth game rather than the survival game in your business. It would be an absolute pleasure and honor to introduce all of you to and actually learn from their real-time experience of managing cash flows in their business. So first up, okay, I'm going to do a quick introduction. Okay, so first up, we have the founder of Media Value Works, which is a boutique digital communication and content research firm, which was established in 2011. And they've been working with Fortune 500 clients, enterprises, mid-sized firms, and MSMEs on helping them research stories, trends, identify editorial hooks for their brand, and enable them with a stronger digital presence. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, please help me welcome Mrs. Rachna Chaudhary.
Wonderful. Thank you all. It's a brilliant session, Rajiv. Last 2 hours, I just loved every little sentence that you spoke. I think all of us here, I can see 157 plus participants. We all are much wiser, much wiser with this 2 hours of investment of your time. And I think this kind of session, if probably I would have had 8-9 years ago, probably my cash flow situations would have been far different than what I've learned my own way and the journey on business transformation.
I'm just grateful to Tally and ET now to create this platform so we could add value to organizations like yours.
Lovely.
So Rachna, I have a couple of questions. As an organization which is into the digital communication space, what are some of the challenges you face in the context of cash flow management? Would you like to elaborate or highlight that?
Sure. I'll quickly summarize this. So like you mentioned in between, there's an industry level challenges which you cannot change. And there is your own little challenge that you want to live with and grow it out of it. So the journey of any organization, when it grows, maybe the 0 to 3 years, has a different pattern, maybe 3 to 5 years different pattern, and then you would have learned the hard way, then you know how to resolve it, and maybe 6th year onwards you know how to take it up, and then it's a stable up then thereafter. So I would really recommend all our entrepreneurs to not feel discouraged at any point in time in what you're doing, because there is sunlight. You need to just learn it the day, implement it, and then it is onwards a successful journey. So in my case, we and this is also a replica of what the industry has transformed with. In marketing, we all have seen how digital penetration happened in the last decade. Earlier, we always had these traditional print media and the radio and the TV channels, and the outdoors and all that was a different ballgame. But in the digital communications and the digital marketing strategies, with the plethora of opportunities that opened up, the clients had 2-3 core requirements. Some of these payments for those services were very long cycle ones. And those are typically monthly, then it is 90 days, then it is 180 days, it goes on and on. And the biggest challenge here for the sector that we represent, the so-called PR industry or the media business, is many a times the outcome of your efforts is not dependent on your own success, because it is a third party. So if I need to get my stories viral in media, if I have done it successfully from my end, it is still not having a guarantee that it will have a closure within that month, because there'll be other factors which will drive it. So I'm not getting into the details. So basically factors of a business which is not in your control. So how do you invoice the client is the biggest challenge. Because you've not been successful in closing the business. When you've not closed the monthly deliverables, you can't raise the invoice. This is the big challenge. We introduced smaller pockets on services and made it very digital centric, started some platforms and landing pages, and started getting clients with low ticket and high volumes. And that improvised the cash flow to a large extent.
So what I understand, Rachna, is what you're saying essentially is that in the nature of business you are in, you put in X amount of effort, but the result is something that is not in your control. And sometimes the client goes into this perception saying, but Rachna, result to aaya nahi, right? And therefore, even the effort that you put in, they hesitate in remunerating for that. So what you've done is you've kind of created this low ticket items where you have your own landing pages and you say, okay, listen, we're going to get you visibility in these places for sure. You're paying us for this. The rest, if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, we still delivered on X amount of visibility for your news item or for your piece of content to go out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the first model.
I think that's a very, very smart thing to do, especially in a business like yours where genuinely there is no control, right?
There is no control.
Like there's no science to virality of a news.
Correct.
Right? There's no real science.
If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then you have nothing to show to a client what happened.
So you've set up micro deliverables for the client.
Yes.
Wonderful. Anything else, Rachna, that you feel that has worked well for you?
This is one big thing that improved, but this is still, in the large bucket, this is still a small thing there. Other than this, definitely international clients, bringing them to use your network is a big thing for all of us here. In every business that we do, there are enough international clients who are looking forward to signing up. It's just about putting that entire activity together, and then you try to get a few international clients. That ensures your cash flow, your delivery, your profitability increases because you have got a few USD clients coming in. This is second big important thing to be done for all our fellow participants here. Try to look for few international clients, and that supports you, besides the fact that we will continue to juggle the Indian business cycle.
Yeah, so what you're saying is, in essence, is the international clientele acts as a safety net, because at the end of the day, there is a certain standard of ethics and payments coming on time, and there's no real haggling. How many of you here have been able to leverage that? I'm just curious for the audience. How many of you are leveraging international clients and that becomes a safety net? You're like, these guys will not mess with me. Mere ko pata hai, mera paisa aa raha hai. Anything else you'd like to add, Rachna, before I say?
And then quickly, I will say, definitely an overdraft from the bank has been done to make sure that there is a safety net. At the end of the 31st, the payment has to be made to employees or staff or etc. So a little overdraft has helped us. Not that we've actually been using that overdraft, but we've kept that facility. So we know we are not. So that's one part. We've done it, and that I've seen has improved in me taking the capacity to take bigger projects.
Absolutely.
That way, it just is at the back of the mind of the founder to know, boss, chalo yaar, kuch pada hai bank mein, lena pade to le lete hain types,
Absolutely.
So it helps.
Yeah.
So that's a little cushion in the mind.
Yeah, that cushion is important, but that cushion comes with a condition apply saying, wo overdraft facility Louis Vuitton bag ke liye use nahi kar sakte.
Nahi. That is very stringent.
So see, you've got to have the financial discipline to back it up.
Right? The hygienic factors that you mentioned and the magnetic strategies that you gave, end of the day, a founder needs to be the most disciplined. And if we are disciplined, our house is in order. Absolutely. And if we are not disciplined, it is all messy. So all said and done, it is not the growth journey that we are going to be making 100 crores. It's the founder who decides that I may probably be jumping 20% year on year, but I'm happy jumping it in a clean way. And the self-esteem matters that you mentioned towards the end of the session is amazing, because we need to be sure about that.
Absolutely. So I always say one good lesson from the movie Pushpa was we all business owners need to say झुकेगा नहीं.
झुकेगा नहीं. See, because वो तो कोई end ही नहीं है ना. अगर आप, so that's one area that a founder needs to decide mentally and keep that, the boss, this is it. And then we just draw a line there that we'll not do it. So this is the third big aspect. And the fourth and the most important, which I've done, and now I'm very thankful. This is after thousands of discussions, when you go through at home with husbands, and then, hey, what are you doing? Then this really came out. Then he drafted for me my rules. Rachna, you're not going to mess up with compliance payments. Number one. So no delayed GSTs, no delayed service taxes. When we started those years back, it was service tax. So I had done this, the 12.36, whatever came in. We assumed that time, oh, ye apna hamara cash flow mein kaam aane wala hai. You incorporate and you keep using that money, and suddenly you realize, oh, now how to pay it to government because we used it all. So all those mistakes is to be rectified. So compliance payments has to be kept aside. We will not touch that. No questions asked. The chartered accountant pays it on time. and no such delays.
All of us need to remember we have a 1/3 sleeping partner in the business. It's called the government. So you don't mess with their money. Right?
Completely. Yeah. So then in the state of payouts, it is compliance number 1. Number 2 is all team payments. Yeah. And all team payments on the 31st, come what may, but that needs to be sacrosanct. So that hygienic thing, it has to be done. Yeah. So that is the second point. Third point is and this is one clarity which I also got after many years of my working, that sometimes the founder should not draw money. Sometimes the founder should only depend on taking home profits. Sometimes the founder will not make profit, so there is no money. So maybe in the initial years, even I realized that I need to not draw salary from my company. I need to only wait for profits someday and recover that money, but it never happened. So then I also structured for myself a simple strategy on salary from the company. Absolutely. Like everybody else gets paid, I will also get paid the same level of salary. That's it.
Absolutely.
That streamlined a lot of chaos in my own self, my own mind, and which is seamless, no questions asked. Yeah. So taking home salary along with other payroll staff, it will be also sent to Rachna Chaudhary. Perfect. I have no problems. So,
I'd
so
like
that
to
is
add
sorted.
there, Rachna, that's such an important point.
It is.
A lot of entrepreneurs feel this heroism when they don't pay themselves. They feel like they're these self-sacrificing souls.
Correct.
But वो sacrifice कभी खत्म होता नहीं, इंसान खत्म हो जाता है.
इंसान खत्म हो जाता है.
Right? So you got to pay yourself like an employee for the time and effort you put into your business. Yes. And you pay yourself on profits on the performance of the business for the risk you've taken as an entrepreneur. Completely. But paying yourself a salary is for the time and effort. I thank you for bringing that point out, because it's such an important point. So many entrepreneurs behave like these self-sacrificing souls who are investing in their vision, but vision क्या है किसी को पता ही नहीं है, right?
तो ये सारी बातें. Then the last thing comes. अब हमने सब कुछ कर लिया. I think the fourth point I had in my mind was third party payments and vendors. We also built in a lot of outsourced partners because there's constant need of content writers and changing patterns on designing. So how many ever graphic artists and content writers you will keep, there is always a need for putting a pool of outsourced vendors. We need them all the time. They are all should be available with you on WhatsApp. They should be able to sync in exactly in your methodology. So we have built a pool of those writers and suppliers, whatever name we give them, and we pay them timely, which is the vendor payment, which comes third in our payment cycle. Absolutely. And that solves most of my life for now, and at least gives us.
So take care of the government, take care of the team, take care of the suppliers and vendors, take care of yourself. Yes. If you take care of all these people, then you will take care of cash flows.
Exactly.
Perfect. Wonderful.
So this was all about learnings from me, and of course, as we mature, we keep evolving, and evolving your business is the key to growth, and not depending on existing customers. Keep adding new solutions, keep partnering with people, keep collaborating. These are all the order of the day. Yep. So a founder has to continue to be creative in thinking how he or she is able to just partner and collaborate.
This is learning from your peers. This is learning from people who have been there and done that. So firstly, everybody, can we give a big round of applause to Rachna Chaudhary from Media Value Works? Can we have a big round of applause for Rachna? Thank you, Rachna.
Thank you.
Love your energy. I really love your energy.
Thank you. And the last, cool. Thank you. Last is build relations with customers. Absolutely. With everyone. Relation is key. Yeah. Because if you be the big boss, I am going to order, कुछ काम नहीं होता है, कोई काम नहीं करते, नहीं तो relation से सारा काम होता है. पैसे आपने दिया नहीं दिया, वो बेचारा काम करेगा आपके लिए. So relation is key. Thank you from my side.
Thank you. Big round of applause for Rachna, everybody.